Hello everybody and welcome back to some Black Ops 6 Zombies. This is actually going to be a two-piece type video where it's going to be two different things going on. I'm going to let Peck talk because I don't like talking over people because it's annoying. Actually, I don't really care. What am I saying? I've already done the map first time through. I don't care about talking over people. But this is basically going to be both a Camo grind update and a first impressions of the new map. We're gonna start with the Camo update because it's very simple. I have every single weapon Mystic Gold now. I basically, as of last night, while playing with good friend Sophie, I ended up getting the PP 919 and the Siren, as you can see here, Mystic Gold. I now need to get all of them Opal, and I kind of want to talk about how I've done this so, not necessarily quickly, but like efficiently. It was a mixture of trying to use two weapons as much as possible to try and get headshots, trying to do multitasking of different camos and stuff like that. So like different related challenges where it's like, get this many mangler kills. I try to get a lot of weapons that have the same mangler kills in one go. Wait, anything one?
Well, get with the program, you glorified abacus. We've got our hands full down here. Oh, and Ravenov, say privyet to Sam.
I'm starting to wish I'd met this Max's chick. Of course, if this artifact is legit, maybe I'll get to.
But effectively, just to kind of say what I did, I have very little time in directed mode. I think I might only really use directed mode for the sake of getting specifically mangler kills on new weapons when they come out. But for the main grind, I literally, to give you a rundown of what I did one run of Terminus and one run of Liberty Falls just to kind of see how they worked. And that was it. I didn't do anything else in terms of touching directed mode for two reasons. One, I think is a little bit too cheesy for my liking. Yes, it's efficient. Yes, you effectively can do the same round X many times and the health of the zombies never goes up. And two, it's the same problem I have with people doing, like, the glitch spots in Terminus and stuff like that. It's not necessarily cheating, it just feels like, oh, that's cheap. That basically is easy mode. Am I going to judge people for doing that? No. Some people just want their grind to be significantly easier. I like doing it the not the hardest way, but the way that makes me feel the most accomplished. But, that being said, I will say one thing, and that is, if you are going to grind out camos, with the changes they've done with the special zombies, i.e. currently now the Doppelgast and Manglers, directed mode is probably going to be your best bet, because yeah, that's definitely the easiest way to get them, because on Liberty Falls you get a Mangler at round 10, and basically just do that over and over again until you get the Opal camo.
Yep, this is why I run solo. You just can't get the staff.
But other than that, I would say in my honest opinion, stick to normal mode. Directed mode is yes, technically a little bit faster, but I prefer normal mode. But now we're on to the main topic of the video and why I'm playing Citadelle right now, as opposed to doing a video on directed mode. First impressions on Citadelle. This is after having done most of the Easter egg. I have not completed it, and I've not seen the boss fight. All I heard is that it is a little bit more of a difficult boss fight in terms of, like, actually getting around. It's a basically big circular arena, but there's a lot of... The boss's attacks are very expansive and do a lot of different things. As well as the arena gets smaller as the fight goes on. Stuff like that. But other than that, I have seen almost nothing of the main boss fight. Ooh, Jackal. In terms of the map, though, I really, really like this map. This feels like a good hybrid of like a Cold War and BO3/4 map. And I really like that because, again, I've always said this. I think BO4 is probably my favorite zombies, with Cold War as a close second. Black Ops 6 is shaping up, at least right now with the first three maps that we have, to maybe beat Cold War. But depending on what this next map with the Sentinel artifact's going to be like on Black Ops 6. I don't know. Who knows? Ooh, insta-kill. I'm gonna hit the box one more time because I want to try and get at least something that's not green tier. Worst case scenario, I'll just pack it. I just want to have a weapon that I can use to get opal progress on the opal gas downstairs. Like that. There we go. Perfect. You know what? Since I got one of the weapons I need to grind out anyway, and pack punched it. Pack punch Camo is probably my new favorite of all time. Easily, it is really, really cool. It's probably one of my favorites.
Really? No alternatives? Or were you just too shit-faced to check?
But the main thing that I want to talk about is a problem that this map has that I was worried would happen in Cold War that really didn't, with the exception of Forsaken, I would say. And an issue that I have with a lot of maps, basically BO3 and onwards. And that is basically what I like to call the BO3 Easter egg effect, which is... I know it's weird, and it's like something that no one's really said, like, would really complain about, but this is more of a me thing, and it's a very small nitpick. That is, this problem is typically when you're playing a zombies map and you're doing it for the first time and you're kind of playing it, with the exception of the swords, it almost shoehorns you into the Easter egg. And I say almost because this one really doesn't, and I will explain why. The main problem I have with this technically problem is when you're doing a map and by progressing through the map at your normal pace that you would be if you're just playing casually, it progresses you through enough of the Easter egg where I just go, well, I might as well just do it. An example of this, at least I think the biggest culprit of this, is Origins and Dreisendrach, which is obviously to get one of the staffs, you're already doing a fourth of the first step of the Easter egg. And to upgrade that staff, you're doing another fourth of the first step of the Easter egg. So it's like, well, why don't I just do the rest of it, because why not? And then you realize, I'm just doing the Easter egg solo, aren't I? Now, that is remedied quite a bit in Dreisendrach, where it doesn't necessarily point you in the right direction to do the Easter egg. It definitely just kind of still feels that way. Which, again, not necessarily a bad thing. Sometimes the Easter eggs can be a little bit easier because of that. I'm not saying Black Ops 3's Easter eggs are easy. Looking back in comparison to something like Cold War, like something like Origins and Dreisendrach, I'd say are fairly easy, with the exception of the boss fight Dreisendrach having a wipe mechanic, which a lot of people say, oh, but Terminus has a wipe mechanic, why is that one so much more difficult? It's because it's a smaller area to fight, and the area where you're immune to that wipe is very limited.
I'm still sussing everyone out.
But
For now, all I care about is getting my hands on Franco.
I'm sure he'll be delighted to see you. Right up until the point you make his throat smile.
But, yeah, it's like, in this map, I'll basically show... I won't do the Easter egg here, but it's like, it's one of those things where, if you want to get the wonder weapon of the map, you have to do the little quest to get the wonder weapon. And thankfully, the Easter egg is a little bit more disconnected to the point where you don't have to do the Easter egg, but it still feels kind of like, well, I might as well do the rest of the swords, because the night zombies that you need to get the stamp, which gets you the swords, will continually to spawn until you have them all upgraded. So it's like, why? The why? And again, it's not necessarily a complaint, it's more of just like, I don't like it when the map almost holds your hand through the entirety of that part, like, through the point where it basically says, hey, you're doing this, so why don't you do the Easter egg? It's like, I don't want to do the Easter egg, I just want the wonder weapon because it's a cool wonder weapon and it looks very cool and I want to use it. Which, I will talk about the swords in a moment, because this might be a little bit longer video, because one, I'm playing zombies and I'm doing live commentary, and two, I am also trying to get my thoughts as I go here. And if I forget anything that I want to critique and I remember in post, I will either put it on text on screen if I remember to do that, or I will just make a comment or in the description or something like that. I don't know. So check both of those in a pinned comment, because I'm usually very, very tired right now, due to the fact that I am 95% sure I have sleep apnea. So here's that. But I'm gonna quickly boop, boop. Oh, and here's actually a compliment for this map. This thing is terrifying. I hate it because it does this. It like dodges, it moves around, it's fast. It's actually kind of terrifying how hard to kill that thing can be. I also never realized I don't have jugs, so I should probably get that before anything else. So I'm gonna run upstairs and grab it before I die. Yeah, overall, like, if I want to talk about mainly the positives of this map, number one, the overall vibe of this map, solid. Very solid. Me likey. Of course, Parasite. It's always Parasite. When is it not a Parasite? I like the vibe of this map a lot. I definitely say this is on par with, like, a lot of BO4's vibes in terms of, like, not necessarily the weirdness, but, like, the overall, like, mystery of the map, I guess, and the mystical nature of it. Bringing back Craft, which I will just say if you're curious, he's behind that door. If you watched my first playthrough, you would know I did find him. And again, the stream, which includes that, is also available as an unlisted VOD. But yeah, overall, I'd say map very good. Map good. I have not done the Easter eggs, so I can't really say much on that, other than the fact that I like how non-linear the steps are, where you can kind of do them in any order, kind of, sort of. Like, there's some you have to do in order, but, like, the order of which you do specific parts of those steps can be done at any point. For example, if I head upstairs here to where stamina up is...
Well, he abducted my brother and sold him to a black site lab where they turned him into a 12-armed monstrosity. So yeah, you could say that.
Yeah, so I head over this way. This will bring me back towards the upstairs section. We go over here. I'll go through this door, but I need to grab a jug first before I go too far in there, because I will die without it. Ouch.
Time to bring the pain.
So, perfect example of it is, in this room, there are a bunch of pages that you need for the book that is in a later Easter egg step. You can grab these at any time. There's no limitation at when you can grab them. You can just grab them when you see them. For example, there's one.
Gold usually means valuable, so don't mind if I do.
Yeah, so you can just grab one of those pages and you have a page fragment. And then obviously that goes into the wall right there, where you need Melee Macchio to punch the wall open and then do the puzzle, and then it goes there. Obviously, certain things you have to do in order, like once you break the wall open is when you can then go grab the key code for it, which is in the tavern. But even so, it's like you could do them in any order with some exception. You can do the swords in any order. You can do the incantations in any order. You can do the parts of the incantations in any order. It's like, you get the idea. You could do any of these things in any order without having much of an issue. Which I do like, because it allows for, if you're doing a 4-player speedrun, to absolutely zoom through this egg. Which is good, because I like it when Easter eggs can be fast, but still have some modicum of difficulty to them. So, there's that. Another big critique that I have, that's not necessarily a negative, but it's a very good, like, hey, you listen to a lot of the problems, was, again, they changed how the special zombies spawn in this game. So they're not as annoying, but the Doppelgast spawns frequently enough that it's actually a threat, but not so frequently that you are in as much of an annoying, like, anger as you were with the Manglers, because they do spawn, I'd say, fairly frequently. After like round 10 you start really seeing them, even 15. The swords, I have two things. I have a good and a bad. One, I think the swords are absolutely amazing and they're really cool and their effects are nice. But they have two glaring problems. One, they fall off way too quickly. Without Melee Macchiato, they drop off very fast. And two, they only hit one zombie at a time. I understand probably for balancing why they don't do it, but Treyarch, please, at least let them hit 3 with a single swing. That way, at least it's good. And just the base swing. Obviously, the main attacks, the special attack that each one has, that obviously kills more than one zombie, but just like when you're swinging to charge it up, which I think should be less zombies, I think it's like 20. Or I think it should be like 20 as opposed to like 50, which is what it feels like. Maybe even like 15. Just so that way it's not like you can actually use the effect frequently and not have it be like, I got to use the effect and I have to wait 9 years. Use it again. There's a bunch of other things I'd like to say. The traps are very interesting. Like, this trap specifically is very fun. I have not used the oil trap. I'm assuming it's just self-explanatory. It drops oil and then sets it on fire. We'll probably test that actually right now. The overall map layout doesn't feel that bad. And the fact that we have fast travel points, because the map is decently large, is nice. For example, jump in the cannon. Whee! Oh, there's intel there. Good to know. I'll grab that next time I'm up there. And overall, again, really like the map. It's fun. It's different. Also, hey, same trial. Hand cannon! Hell yeah. Okay, so here's the example I was talking about. We have a armored zombie. Spawns stamp.
Also known as the Owl, the man who built this Citadelle. That stamp bears the seal of one of his bastard sons.
I have added a note to your file to say you don't suck. Upgrading trial reward. Keep it up.
Also, I will not be talking about the whole voice casting debacle and everything, because one, I don't want to touch that with a 10-foot pole, and two, I'm just kind of tired when it comes to shit like this. Just to summarize it in a single sentence, voice actors are on strike due to bad contracts with Activision and stuff like that, so characters are going to be getting recast. One of them, unfortunately, was obviously Dr. Peck, which I suspected originally, one of them which I suspected originally after hearing them, but also Sam is now, unfortunately, also under that as well. Basically, to summarize it, I'm not going to say I don't have thoughts on that. It's just I want to keep that separate from the map coverage because I don't consider them one and the same. But yeah, overall though, I do like the map. I think the layout is a little bit smaller than I expected compared to something like Terminus, but at the same time, it's still decently big. Because once you're outside here, it feels small. Because it's like, oh, you have this and you have the castle. Then you realize the castle has like 3 layers to it, and it's like, oh, that's not bad. It's a decently big map. I'd say it's reasonably big. It's not like overly big where it's just like, Jesus Christ, there's too much map. There's too much map per map. But there's enough map that it feels like it's not like there's enough map that doesn't feel like it's entirely like the size of Nuketown, but it feels bigger than something like, or it feels smaller than something like Origins, or not even Origins, like Die Rise or Buried. It feels bigger than that, but smaller than something like Outbreak, I guess, would technically be the comparison I'm going for. Because I will say, my biggest complaint with Terminus is that it is too big. It is really big. That was a doppelganger spawning in. Ah, Jesus, there he is. Also, yeah, that slowing effect that they do, obnoxious, but God, God, do I love it. Because it actually makes you realize you can't just hoard a doppelganger and then just try to be like, oh, I'm just gonna kill it. It's like, no, you have to actually be careful, guys. But the only other big complaint that I have is the fact that we have another map where it's missing a single perk on it. If you don't know, Liberty Falls, Missed Deadshot, and Elemental Pop. Elemental Pop, I don't hear about that one. I'm gonna be honest with you. Elemental Pop is not that big of a loss because, one, Elemental Pop can be more of a hindrance than a help sometimes, it feels like. Unless you're going for a specific challenge and you have the one augment that buffs, like, specifically the chance of one of those effects happening. But if you're someone like me who uses Electric Cherry a lot, because I like having the, like, safety of if I get cornered, I can reload and maybe get out of there. Not necessarily always, but good amount of the time. Then you don't really see the effect of that. But regardless, is we don't have PhD until round 25, which I guess technically means you just can't use stuff like the GS-45 or the sniper or the ray gun or any of the rocket launchers until round 25. But when the GS-45 is as good as it is, especially in I guess the boss fight, because apparently it is really good in there. Yeah, no, it's not fun. It's like, again, like in Terminus, where the GS-45 is like one of the best weapons to use in the boss fight, and you can't use it because you don't have PhD. But again, I'm not going to complain because the fact that we got, and I'm going to sprint over there and show it off, because if you didn't know, during my first playthrough, I only knew the fact that this map was in France, and it was pronounced Citadelle des Morts, and I had been pronouncing it wrong this entire time. I thought it was Citadelle des Mortis, which would be combining French and Latin, and I'm very stupid when it comes to that, so I apologize to all the French people who I may have offended by pronouncing the map wrong. We got this beautiful perk right here.
Should use this on some of my stingier clients.
Yeah, it actually does kill things. I was told to kill things. It's like Melee Macchiato and Yule Kick from Cold War.
Does that hurt? Good.
But yeah, we got Volts Raid, which is personally one of my favorite perks of all time, next to a perk that I honestly hope they don't bring back because it would be very funny, and I feel like people will be angry about it, but also please bring it back. It would be very funny. I want to see Who's Who come back, because that perk jingle is amazingly catchy.
I hate it. Just want to be
But, oh god, recoil moment. But, yeah, overall, like the map. Vulture Raid's fun. I haven't really upgraded the augments at all, but I've heard that the augments are pretty good. I've seen that there's one that gives you more salvage, and I don't know if it's bugged or if it's just not really proccing that often, but getting crit kills gives you more salvage. Or can give you more salvage. Which, if you know me, I have a problem with not having enough salvage for anything. Because that's one of the biggest problems I had with the camo grind, was whenever I needed to get a weapon, when I was grinding 2 weapons out like I usually do, it was taking me forever to get them upgraded to gold or even just blue tier sometimes. Oh yeah, we have stuff Lightning. It's a ammo mod, to say the least. I just turned that man into a crawler. Nice. Alchemical Lab. That's down below, right? But yeah, just basically to summarize my thoughts, map good, has problems that have been, there's some most of them are map like pacing related, Easter egg pacing related, and the only other problem I really have is the fact that Activision is greedy as always, due to voice acting issues. Because again, I want to make this very clear. Treyarch is not at fault here. Treyarch is only basically listening to their higher-ups, and they don't want to. Because it feels like every single year with Treyarch, whether it's Black Ops 4, Cold War, or now Black Ops 6, the game has been self-sabotaged by the higher-ups at Activision. And I hate it. Because these games can be genuinely really fun, but then one small thing ruins it for everybody involved, including Treyarch. And yeah, that's basically how I feel on the whole situation right now. I may have thoughts on it another day. I can't really definitively say if I will, because I don't... Talking about, like, AI bullshit is such a rough topic, because I don't like talking about it, even though I know I probably should. But regardless, If you want to see more videos like this one, please be sure to subscribe, because I upload every single day and a variety of different games, whether that's Call of Duty, Overwatch, Fortnite, Pokemon, like a bunch of other stuff. I try to do something new every week, whether that's going back to a game I haven't played in a while, doing something different that I haven't done before. I try to branch out, because I upload a lot of different things. I don't like sticking to one game, because I find that boring. Hit the parasites, good lord. But yeah, tomorrow we'll expect something a little bit different, something familiar but new. Yeah, expect something interestingly different tomorrow, and then obviously expect Gears to return. I know I really kind of slacked on doing Gears, but I've been busy with other things, and I'm gonna be honest, Gears Judgment